used to that rolly mess. Good evening. My name is Shir Bodner. I'm in my last semester here at the University of Richmond, a semester that's come to define my work on the post-Soviet resettlement documentary project this past summer. How many people in this room knew that about 800 Soviets resettled in our community in the 90s? An even better question is, how many of us have actually paused to think about the rich stories these people have about life in the Soviet Union, immigration, and tackling the challenges of a new language and lifestyle? These are the questions that produced the collaborative project between our university, Hillel, and JFS, Jewish Family Services of Richmond. Co-chairs Greg Davidson and Rabbi Andrew Goodman built a core project board that meets monthly towards the making of a documentary film and museum quality display. I was taken on as a project intern this summer to start brainstorming how to preserve this important heritage and history of the Soviet Union, Jewish refugees, and of new Americans that are now part of our Richmond community. Since the goal of this project is to have a student-driven process, my ideas were really integral to this initial phase, and my experience served to reunite the larger student body that will take on interviewing and filming in the next year. Some of my responsibilities this summer included social media documentation, facilitating project board meetings, and pioneering IRB and ethics approvals for human subject research. Really, the reason this experience was unique was because of the outreach to our community. It got me thinking in bigger terms and challenged me to find people in our community that volunteered 20 years ago in this resettlement, and to introduce me to faculty, staff, and departments that I had no idea existed here in the university. And it was really neat. I could talk for hours about how I had wonderful opportunities that were presented to me and how amazing it was that one idea led to the next and new prospects to enhance our project. I could also speak for hours on the history of the Soviet Union, which I focused on as the academic portion of my Burhans Fellowship. Instead, I'd like to focus on where all this got me to today. Going into this project, I had absolutely no knowledge of Russia, the Soviet Union, or even which republics comprised the Soviet bloc. So Dr. Brandenberger in the history department saw my enthusiasm for the potential of this project and took me under his wing for a crash course on everything Soviet. After many meetings to digest the material, I was not only prepared to apply repeating themes to guide interview questions and project products, but also to expand my research and really make it my own beyond the fellowship. Having spent the summer living and breathing this topic, I felt like I still had so many questions to put down on paper. These have translated into the core of my academic work this semester. I applied to do an independent thesis that ties my international relations studies in the Middle East by comparing the immigration experiences of those who settled in the US to those who chose to go to Israel. I also had the opportunity to design my own syllabus for my minor in geography. I'm incorporating the immigrant interviews and my spatial analysis GIS skills to create a digital storytelling narrative that measures how these immigrants identify themselves within the Richmond community 20 years after their immigration. This will include academic analysis, local interviews, and hopefully valuable artifacts from life in the Soviet Union that these people provide us with. This summer, a couple students and I had the opportunity to take a trial run with an interview of an elderly lady, and this was an amazing learning opportunity. She really touched us with her story when it came to answering the question of identity, so I figured I could share that little tidbit with you. We kind of asked her at what point she felt American. Does she feel American? Does she feel Soviet? Does she relate to Judaism? What are her political identities? And she said that in '91 they got on a direct flight from Moscow to New York, and as soon as the flight doors closed, the stewardess announced that they were now protected by the American government. And she said everyone on that flight got up and started embracing each other. And she started crying, telling it we were touched. She said that was the moment where she truly felt American, and she has since. And that really made my summer experience really personal. And my hope is that some of these stories will get captured in my little piece this semester, and then will be continued and to be built on and be part of this film and museum display. So being able to continue my analysis and work on the subject across courses and semesters has made it all the more engaging. And the biggest takeaways I've had from this project are to take initiative, get inspired, and involve others. So being surrounded by a really supportive group of people that have endowed me with responsibilities, it allowed me to be innovative, has been a great experience, and the real reason it has been meaningful. I've been able to transfer my work beyond career and academic opportunities to my personal background. I sat down with my grandparents about a month ago and got to, I don't want to say interview, but delve into my family's history of immigration, and hope to get to have the same experience and dialogue with my 97-year-old grandmother, who actually immigrated herself from the Ukraine. So the discovery of my family heritage and stories might have been lost if it weren't for my wonderful experiences this summer. And for taking this initiative of not only to thank myself, but the many people who have made this internship engaging, my academic work meaningful, and the Burhans for providing me for the resources to take it all on. Thank you.